and B.
Let's see where this conversation's going to go.
I think it's going to be interesting. A lot of people ask, what is it about? What are we going to talk about, and why are we here? What led us to this point? I think it's going to be very important. I think for me and myself, I really want to speak about my journey and what it took for me to get to where I am. In no way am I saying that I've made it, because I haven't made it. But I think what I've achieved on my journey is something that could help someone else in some way. Even if I can impact one, just speaking about what it took me and how I had to become not a different person, but the things I needed to add within myself in order for me to grow. So I think that's going to be an important part of my talk here. Yeah, and what I want to talk about. I know from your side you also want to speak about, obviously, men's health.
Yeah, that's a big thing for me.
Not men's health, but the mental health.
Mental health. Yeah. Mental health. Because I don't think it's so much publicized as it should be, in a sense where men kind of see the different options that are available for them and how to cope. Also talking about like how you as a man deal with things. What's a healthy way of dealing with it? What's an unhealthy way of dealing with it? Because we find that men aren't so open to be equipped with those things. So kind of making it in a limelight now makes it seem like it's okay.
I think it's conversations that we need to have when we speak about the mental health of men, because there's things that we were brought up and we were told that we shouldn't, if we speak, we're weak in a sense. And that's the persona that everyone took on. So to actually speak about how you feel is not something that comes easy to us. And I think having a platform that allows people to come and speak about the journey that they're on and where they go into, I think will be important where we engage in those conversations, people from different walks. I mean, your walk is different to my walk, but we are where we wanted to be 5 years ago, in our own way.
Yeah, and I think of that, the stuff that you would have learned along your journey that can aid me in my journey, the stuff you could have accomplished, and when you speak about it, it's like a beacon of hope to say, hey, if you can do it,
why can't I?
Why can't I? And then hopefully having someone that's gone through it, you get to see that, hey, it's not as bad as what you initially thought it would be. This is something you can overcome.
Exactly, and also just speaking about how it's not all sunshine and roses.
Exactly.
There's things where, like for me, on my journey, I had to sacrifice big parts of myself, and a part that I really, really wanted for myself, and that is to have a relationship. On my journey, that's what I needed to sacrifice, and those are the type of things that we want to touch on. Why do I feel that way now? Why didn't I feel that way earlier? But I needed to, because I had a vision and where I wanted to go, and sometimes when things weren't aligning with you, you needed to step away.
It's important to cut those things off while you still can.
Exactly.
Because it's worse to have it while you're going and elevating. I mean, you've got this thing, it's almost like, it's a swag thing to say, but it's like a ball and chain around your leg. You're only going to go to a certain
extent. And I think also speak about what took me to that point of realization, and I think it's gonna be interesting for me to be vulnerable in that sense. So able to speak about things because I'm not that type of person, but I feel it's a good platform, and as I said, if I can impact one, then that'll be great.
I mean, it's a good thing for us to, because I think we kind of have a lot of people, not saying it in like a positive way, but we have people that look at our lives. They're not interested in our journey, interested in what we're doing. And it's good to show them like our humanity in our process, because a lot of people have a certain expectation of us, or they see us in a certain light, so they wouldn't even possibly consider us going through certain things that we've gone through and how we've come out of it, learning different methods of dealing with things while going through that process. So I'm excited to share all of my things.
Also being a girl dad,
It's a big one for me.
which obviously could lead to also being a boy dad. We hope he is a boy dad. He becomes a boy dad one day. That's all I'm saying. But he's a married one. They also touch on relationships, marriage. I can't speak about marriage. Clearly, I can't. There's no way I can speak about marriage.
You almost did once.
Yeah, almost. But almost never counts, bro.
For those who know, they know.
The ones that know. The ones that don't say. Maybe they'll find out we don't know. But it was very close, bro. Really close. And I think that was something that I really needed to go through in order for me to get to where I am today. What is that?
Actually, why don't you just talk about that thing for yourself? Like, how did it feel knowing that now you're gonna be committed for the rest of your life, or for as long as thing allows it?
Now when I look back, I don't actually think I understood what I was doing.
Okay, what do you mean?
Like wanting to marry someone, I didn't understand the extent of it because I don't think I was ready for it at that time. You understand?
So this what made you go ahead and take that first initial step?
That's a very good question, and I think it was the pressures that were around.
Okay.
You understand what I'm saying?
I understand.
That's what I'm saying. And I think that's the important thing because we don't want to put other people's wrong word. Other people's things out there. Understand? So it's just about the work pressure. And you need to make that decision. And I was like, okay, why not? It's going well. It was one of my longest relationships.
You thought this way.
I thought it was going well until things went south.
Yeah.
And I look back and I'm like, Lord, that could only be you. And then from there, my whole journey changed because at that point, my whole family moved to Johannesburg and I stayed. And I knew even if I did auditing, I would make double what I was making in Johannesburg. If I went to Joburg, yes.
Yeah.
We were making double what I was making in, but I stayed because I saw this long term. I thought the fantasy of long term looked good. You understand?
Yeah.
And something that I wanted. Not realizing that I sacrificed a lot of myself in that because my soccer wasn't. Exactly my point. And then once that happened and I moved to Joburg and then doors just started opening and I was like, I needed to go through what I went through so I could be ready for what's to come. And everything happened at the right time. And when God knew, okay, you ready now, let's go. And in no intention was going to Joburg to start coaching. I was going to be an audit. My goal was chartered accountant. That was my goal. That's what I wanted. Because that's where a lot of people get their money. And I spent a couple of months there and then the next year, 2017, I was coaching and then everything just shot up.
Yeah, because it's with Galacticos. You got all of that day, emotion.
And
I mean, you went quite far. Discovery.
Yeah, bro. Finals of big tournaments in Soweto. So it's just about speaking about that and that realization and how I went along the steps to get to where I needed to be.
Oh, that's fire. But yeah, I think also like in terms of like the girl dad issue, or we can even just talk about relationships. Like
I can't talk about relationships.
you can.
I'm not in a relationship.
You've gone into the stuff.
Someone.
So it's not like it's not foreign to you. Like relationships aren't foreign to you.
I'm no expert. I'll never be an expert. But maybe I can.
It's not even about being an expert, bro. It's about what's your journey in the whole process. Because that's essentially what we're talking about. That's what Convos with A and B is about. It's about our specific journey and what we've learned along the way. And sharing that perspective. Because there has to be something that we have gone through that can help the next person.
And I think that's what it's about.
It has to be about that. We don't have a choice.
We
put on this earth to equip people and equip one another. I'm not trying to make us have like a God complex, but I'm just saying like the stuff that you've gone through that have helped me in my work, the stuff that I've gone through that has helped you. And that's why I think even our friendship is the way it is because we challenge one another. We're always pushing each other to do better.
And be better.
Yeah. Like I know the potential that you have. You know the potential I have. And I hold you accountable for that. And you hold me accountable for that. And that's why we've grown so much, I think.
Interesting. So why the podcast? What made you want to do the podcast?
Okay, there's a funny story. So there's another podcast. There's another podcast that we used to listen to. We follow Brice and his journey. Called the Power Lunch Hour. You can check them on Instagram. Corridor
Seki posts for days.
Man's got like 30-something thousand posts.
Only memes, bro. Quality memes, bro.
Because that's where it started for us. We started with Brice shared the page with me, which was a meme that he had posted. And then, so that's how we found out they had a podcast and we listened to it and he's also so funny.
They were funny.
And the chemistry was like on top.
Short to important.
Hey. So then, I mean, we also kind of figured, these are they're talking about everyday stuff. They go through the reports on other things as well, but just the chemistry that they had while doing the podcast, we felt like we had that as well. And there was also stuff that we felt that we needed to share from our points of view. And I think our lives are very interesting, I would say.
They were
very interesting,
especially the way we met and how it went from there.
Yeah. And so with all of that, we're like, we got a story to tell. Why don't we just
tell the story?
Exactly. And I think we held it off for a good couple of years.
Yeah, well, obviously with me being in Joburg, in Maritzburg, it was never going to be a possibility.
Yeah.
And then obviously now this year, when I moved to Durban, we were like, hey, close. Yeah. Why not keep this together? Yeah. Why not let's try keep this thing a try and let's see how it goes. See the people who listen and be in tune with us and engage with us. I think that's the important thing. We want the audience to engage with us. If you feel confident enough, come and sit. Let's have a conversation. Let's hear about your journey. Exactly. Maybe your journey could impact someone that we couldn't impact. And it's about growing from there.
And opening those platforms. I mean, we want to give everybody, whether we disagree with you or whether we agree with you, we want to give you that platform to have that conversation. That's what it's about. It's just having those conversations.
Just talking around.
Uncomfortable conversations. Hectic conversations.
Whatever conversations.
Big debates. I'm very stubborn, so I stand by everything I say.
And obviously some things people might be like, alright, this one is talking nonsense now. Yeah. I think we've had those moments on the live.
Yeah, we have.
Where we said something and people were like, hi, how can you say that? And then we'll discuss it. Let's talk about it. Don't just come at me and say you can't just say that. Say, tell me why, and then I'll explain to you why I said what I said.
Because I don't think, in today's society, we don't have that platform where we're able to speak. Because if my opinion goes against your opinion, one of us is a bad person, and then you're going to get chastised for it.
So I'm also able to see from your side as well. Yeah. And I think that's important. But again, if we're talking about that in a relationship, how can I speak about that? Because that's what I expect. I haven't been in a relationship in a very long time where I can say it was a long-term one.
Okay, let me ask you this question. When's the last time you rode a bicycle?
Very long time, bro.
You know how to ride a bicycle?
I jump on a bike and I ride.
Okay, so just because you haven't...
Why would you use a bicycle as an example?
Just because you haven't rode a bicycle in a long time doesn't mean you don't know how to ride a bicycle.
I'm not saying I don't know how to have a relationship.
But the stuff that you've gone through in a relationship that you can still talk about.
I guess
It's
so.
not about
I
being
guess so.
an expert.
And maybe just from a male's perspective, what we expect as well. Ish. A male's putting me on the spot shirt, sir.
That's what it's supposed to be, bro.
I'll put me on the
You're not
spot
just to
shirt.
be too comfortable.
Come sit here and talk, you must be willing to feel hot here, the lights too.
Hey, I've got to wipe the soul.
Bruh. Hey, yeah, but that's why we're here, because we want to have this conversation. So if you're ready for all this, welcome in. But also our journey. I mean, from where we started, this wouldn't like me.
Give us man.
But you know, can I tell you something? Can I tell you something? There's another O that I wears that I met in Joburg. He also says that I never like Brice. And all of my me and him are close. So all of my good friendships always started like that.
That's how moved with this green box BMD. No, it wasn't
It wasn't a box. It was a dolphin.
Yeah.
Clean.
No, that thing. And a previous memories.
Yeah.
But he used to move around thing, and we were in youth at that time. And like we were the plugs for the music. So I think it was the album or something or song that got released. So we were like on top of it because we were the ones that were plugging everybody in the music. Picking how does someone get this music? We eating ice cream to get this music. This song he has already popping.
Typical colored thinking, etc.
Then plus so that's all totally cup ice cream, peach champagne.
Everyone thinks that, so it's fine, bro.
So now I don't like people like that. So I was like automatically I was like, that's all yeah. So things is on top of things. But eventually I don't even know how we got to I think it was the
convention.
Yes, it was a convention.
Bloemfontein.
Yeah. And we ended up staying in the same house. And we all clubbed together. So that we could stay there. And then
that's when we took that picture there by the pool table like this.
yes, that's it. We were so tall.
Yeah. I'm still too tall, but we won't talk about that. And fair down, bro. That's why, bro. But we're white, yeah, bro. But yeah. But that's where it was, bro. That's where it started, and I think from there it just kicked off. And yeah, we done a lot together. And I think at that point in our lives, we really needed each other. I remember there was one time I sold my PlayStation, and I think it was on Monday morning, we were sitting by the mosque. And he gave me a check. And I went to go cash it, and it didn't write through because there was no money in his account. Clown. So we were sitting by the mosque after our jog, and it's all drove past, and I stopped him.
Sure,
You remember? What are the chances, bro? What are the chances? And he gave me my PlayStation back. He's like, hey, I'm sorry. I was like, bro, what kind?
But we were young. We did some very young time.
Bro, we threw some top parties, PCI.
That was still
Who's on the
anybody can say anything. I can tell you now. That New Year's pasta was the best pasta the place has ever seen.
Straight from there
Till
to
today.
Bruh, from church, we say into a backyard, brother, with the yard. I advise into a forest, like, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's
like
like
long yard, bro.
everywhere. It's pitch black.
Say church speakers. It's up to church speakers, church sound.
Sure.
Music was playing, there's a pool.
It wasn't even a pool, exactly. It was a pond.
Yeah, but it's small, but it was just there for show, Chuck. It was just there for show. No one swam. You understand? It's just there for show.
I'm still trying to figure out how you ever you are that big. And your pool is literally
so small.
No,
so small. But it was tough because then from there we went to Toti.
We didn't sleep for 2 days.
Yeah, we went to a van. The church van.
The fact that we even just watched that
church van, bro. We hustled the church van. Also not sleeping, we driving to Toti.
We swapped 3 drivers in 45 minutes. We saw 3 drivers in 45 minutes. Because the first 2 drivers were falling asleep.
That is the
third driver slept on the highway. How he took us to the destination while he was sleeping.
But now we talk about it like, yo, we did some dangerous things, bro. risking our lives, but it's memories, etc. It's memories.
I remember our worldview. That was like a mandatory thing. Willerton meets Tika.
Oh, the best ticket is in the past.
Best Tika in Marisburg.
That's why when someone says they don't know what Listen Palace, they disappoint me, bruh.
That's a heartbreak.
They really disappoint me. I won't even lie to you. Where is Willerton Palace? How can you ask me that question?
I tell you what. After this,
I just had a ticket.
we gotta take that specific person to Willerton just for it.
Hey, let's see. But yeah, bruh. I think also those also good memories. Taking the Americans that came down.
Yes.
Was it only Americans or was it different countries? I don't know. Just Americans. Taking them for tickets.
One Canadian, 2 Canadians.
Yeah. I don't know, bro. I don't remember them. I just remember their names. Yeah.
Alright guys, you must excuse the extra noise in the background. There's a storm happening while we're shooting the podcast.
So why making it sound like there's a hurricane outside?
Well, there is a storm. It's doom doom.
It's doom dooms. The doom dooms are doom doomering.
So if you do, yeah, boom boom boom.
Just understand.
It's not us that is maybe pooping under anything like that. It's the storm outside. So yeah, like back to you and this whole Coach B journey. What is it specifically? What specifics about the journey do you want to touch on? Especially doing it on the podcast. I mean, you could have chose your own social media to do it, but like, why on the podcast?
I think maybe people hearing me speak about how I had to evaluate myself and how I had to change certain things about myself to get to where I wanted to be. Maybe they could feel the emotion more and step into that journey and see that the reason why I did X, Y, and Z, or why I needed to evaluate. Because coming up as a player, I really wanted it. And I really wanted to be that player. But there was something about me that could never take that next step. I played for Golden Arrows reserve team, but I could never take the next step because when I took that step, I looked at everyone else and I was like, hey, not as good as them.
So then would you say there's imposter syndrome?
At that point, yes.
Okay.
But I needed to look at that and I needed to change that about me. You understand? Because now I'm getting a second shot at this and this is what I enjoy doing. Prophecy of a 14-year-old boy, where someone literally told me that through my soccer, I'm going to impact so many young lives. And when I started coaching, my first year of coaching, I think I'll always reference back to that because I think that was probably one of my best years as a coach. Not in terms of results, but in terms of growth for myself and how much I fell in love with that game.
Okay.
And the fact that I've got, I think it was 15 or 16 boys that are looking at you and you guiding them to become better. Not only footballers, but better people. Yeah. And I only realized that later on because now you make these connections with people. But now how do I lead people if I got that imposter syndrome, for example? I can't. You understand what I'm saying?
Because you're dealing with that stuff that they're dealing with.
Exactly. So now I got to show them that you need to, one, believe in yourself to a point where a lot of people think you're arrogant. But at the same time, you need to understand that, hey, be grounded. Yeah. And then one day, when it's your time, it'll happen. And it took me long to learn that because I had to, 2017, brand me, you created my Coach P logo. In order for me to, that's where I created another persona of me because that's a different version of me. You understand? That's the version that needed to be arrogant in order for me to believe, exactly, and believe in what I what I can do, and that's why I created that. Not created that, but that is my brand. And if I put this out there, and I'm proud of it, then I know that, you know, I'm going to the next level. I can't keep worrying about what would this one say, what did that one say. No, whether that one's better than me, if it's better than me, good, but my time will come. and then also speak about how my mindset had to change in order for me to be that type of person, because everyone knows me, I'm an introvert, I don't talk to people.
Facts. That's facts. Like,
I don't talk to people.
You could sit in a room full of people, vibes is fine on, but you comfortable sitting by yourself.
I sit by myself.
Comfortable sitting by yourself.
But I'm present.
Yeah.
But I enjoy just sitting by myself. Yeah. Because I'm an introvert, but as long as I'm there and I have the vibes, then I'm gonna enjoy it. You understand? But now out there, that's not gonna work.
Especially being a coach, like you have to interact.
Exactly.
You've got no choice but you have to interact.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
So, bro, now there was one tournament we had in at Kings Park, and I went to go watch because we were looking for players from Durban. Now it's within the season, and you walk on the grounds and one light is like, "Hey, it's Coach P." I don't know the lighty.
Shut.
I don't even.
But you got like celeb status now.
I wouldn't say celeb status.
Taking pictures.
I wouldn't say celeb. I wouldn't say celeb status, but that means that I put myself out there and people have noticed. Mm-hmm. And I needed that, and I needed that brand, and I needed to invest in it and put my time into it. And I need to speak about what caused that change and how I needed to change that.
But I think one thing you should probably focus on, just from my perspective, would be that imposter syndrome. Because like, you can get to those points, but like the one thing you're always gonna deal with is that imposter syndrome. Like, am I good enough? What am I putting out? Like, are these people even gonna receive this? What if this one doesn't agree? Oh my gosh.
Now,
and you're going through like a whole lot of things, and you're finding more reasons not to do it.
Exactly.
Than to actually push and know that, hey, I'm meant to do this. I'm supposed to do this. This is what I feel is my calling. But like, that imposter syndrome just stops you from pushing through. And
I think that's an important conversation to have, because I think now I've still got a little bit of it. Because imagine sitting on benches and you're playing against the likes of Stellenbosch coaches in Cape Town. It's hard not to have that imposter, that syndrome, because it's in you. But now you gotta step out of it so that the players don't have the same thing.
Sure.
You understand? So that's why my journey, I learned that I need to step out. I need to put myself out there. I need people to see me. In order for me to do that, I need to create something bigger, something better. That's why when you see me and I'm not the same person, it's like, hey.
Yeah. But I mean, I wouldn't expect, I saw the saying, it said, if you met me 10 years ago and you meet me again today, and I'm the same person, I failed. Because you haven't grown. You stayed exactly the same.
Exactly.
Like, when you start hearing people, and it's like from a positive point of view though, when you hear people tell you like, hey, you've changed, or hey, you're so different, you don't look the same. Like for me...
Yeah, you don't look the same.
I definitely don't look the same. I had a body of a god, and now I've got a body of a dad. So I'm just saying, like, you know, when you have to deal with that kind of stuff, like going from god status to like dad status.
God, body of a god.
For those who know.
Yeah, don't play with me, bruh.
Now my 6 packs are sitting in the freezer. I'm saying. So,
I was gonna ask if you carry the 1.6. Yeah.
I got an extra 6 pack. You check what I'm saying.
Back in the freezer. But can I tell you something? This man, he says that, but he got like 3 or 4 tags that from what gym was it? Viva gym? Yeah, on his keys, Planet Fitness. But he don't go to gym, so bruh.
1 tag is for my daughter.
Maybe vice for a week.
1 tag is for my wife. 1 tag is for me.
Okay.
So, but now I'm working like 20 hours a day. I don't have time to go to the gym. So, you know, it's
got accepted.
I just have to.
So at least we know now why also the politicians get the way they get as well. Is that what you're saying?
No. They don't work 20 hours a day. Please, not even put me in that same category of those lazy bastards.
Now you're talking about politics.
Let me retract my statements. There are those who work very hard in government, and there are politicians, and they do.
Now why are you generalizing? Why are you generalizing?
Not because that's just how I feel.
Okay.
That's just how I feel. But there are those who are absolutely useless.
And you're in a big
money, but you got no experience. It's like you're telling me, no, I'm a boilermaker, but you don't know how to weld. Aye, come on.
Why you mentioned welding, bro? Because it's a color thing.
You know what I'm saying?
Can you weld?
It's the
Can you
closest thing I
weld?
can relate to
Can you weld?
being a colored.
Can you weld?
No, I can't.
So how can you say you can relate to it?
Because I'm a colored. That's like one of the things that most colors.
Okay, I'll call him weld, bro. Aspire to be.
Yeah.
So.
I don't know if you remember back in the day, I used to be in school. What you want to do? I know what can do, man. Or I want to be a boiler maker.
Why you laughing, bro?
Because there's so much more for us, bro. Like,
there's,
we are
but
such a country.
but then
nation.
we definitely are. But then the next thing is, do we know that is possible? Has anyone ever showed us that it's possible?
Like that's another thing that I want to touch on as our podcast journey goes. Because coming from, for those who don't know, I was born in Heidelberg Clinic, and then I stayed in Menenberg. So my dad
from the rough ghettos.
Yeah. So my dad
the ghettos.
was born in Menenberg.
Short.
My mom was born in Heidelberg.
Short. I'm from the pine houses, bro.
So now to put it in perspective, it's like Woodlands and Eastwood.
Short.
The two don't mix. Don't mix.
But Woodlands and Eastwood mix is just.
Yeah. But when it comes to like that side of things, they don't mix like. So now the flop with, well, I won't say the flop with like, but the thing with growing up in those areas, like what you see is what you get, and that you feel that that's all that there is. And you don't necessarily, it's not that you don't aspire to, but you don't feel like aspiring is going to do much for you.
Or you can actually achieve it.
Yeah, because you look around you, you see people that had potential, you see people that were on the come up.
You hear stories about how this person could have been this great.
Exactly.
And how
you see them in the state that they're in.
Yeah. Like, is it even possible?
Like, should I even continue?
Should I even try this thing?
Yeah.
And I think that's why also I want to talk about my thing, because to show that it's a possibility. But
sure. Like where you're from doesn't necessarily determine where you're gonna go. Like
there was a post on the Tell Witness on Facebook. They posted on someone said, "Yo, I don't think anything good can come out of Eastwood." It was the Eastwood soccer team, and I looked at their post and I was like, "Wow."
And it speaks volume to what this whole topic is about.
Exactly.
Because again, you only feel like what you see as far as you're gonna get. Like you feel like anything higher than that is not made for you, because you don't necessarily see as many people like you in those positions.
Sure.
And that I think is the big.
You know,
the fact that you're trying to do it so slow,
bruh.
But yeah, like for me, it's that thing of, because you don't see people like you in a position where you may want to aspire to be, you feel like it's not possible. Subconsciously, like you already put a limit on. And like now, you know, not to boast, but like I got my own business. I'm freelancing here. I've got 2 other big job positions. And
like, making gold, bruh.
No, it's not that I'm making gold.
Making gold, bruh.
No, I'm
making gold. Tell him the truth, bruh.
I'm still
making gold. You know where he makes all his gold? He sits in his house. Sits in his house and he makes gold. Don't make him come back to humble there.
Okay, so for those who don't know, I'm a graphic designer by trade. And the beauty about graphic design is I don't need to be in an office to make money. I can sit somewhere, I can sit anywhere, I can travel the world and I can make international currency. Like I can.
You sound like you're boasting, bruh.
I'm gonna post a little bit. How? Jeez, come on, I'm best in the business.
Oh yeah.
You know the vibes.
I mean, my brand comes from you, so. Come on now.
Have you seen it? Have you seen Galactic?
Have you seen it?
That's literally the best logo I've made so far. But yeah, like the beauty about graphic design is like you don't need to earn one currency. You can earn a multitude of currencies, and yeah, as long as you continue to grow as a graphic designer, in terms of your skill, what you're able to output. You work on your time. You work on your.
You make money doing something that you enjoy doing.
Exactly. I love creating. Like doing this logo. I mean, you saw the other options that we've had, but just being able to conceptualize something and then produce it where you can actually, like, taking something that someone has in their head, like no one else can see it, and putting it in front of somebody's face,
and they like it,
and they're like, yo, this is exactly what I wanted. That is the best feeling, you know.
And that's why you started Fearless Designs.
That's why I started Fearless Designs, but also because I felt like I felt God was telling me to start a business, because the idea that I had behind having the business was growing enough in the field that I'm able to go back into the community.
Sure.
Like I felt a man about where I'm from and impact the colors, because I felt like, you know, our people do not get so much resources as what I would like. Right? I'm not saying that they don't. I'm just saying, for me personally, I feel like our people don't get as much resources.
And they can get more.
And they can get more. It's not that they can't. They can get more. But then also on the flip side to that is the mentality of our people also stop us from getting certain things, because we have a tendency of not being thorough or seeing things through.
Yeah.
Right. And I know it's not every single colored in the world that is like that. But if we're being honest, most of our people
like
have
that
tendency. Right. And when we get to a certain level, our heads just get huge, and then it's tough to manage that stuff. But yeah, I digress. What I'm getting to is like the reason I wanted to
oh, big words there.
You gotta elevate, you know. So yeah, the whole point behind the business is to give back into the community. So equip our people. And I'm not saying it's only gonna be colors, it's gonna be, but I wanna focus
on that.
Firstly on where I'm from, where I was brought up. Heidelberg, Manenberg will always have more art. So going into those communities, giving back to the kids there, developing their skills, exposing them to so much more than what our government schools are exposing them to.
That's a lot though.
Yeah, but I mean, it's possible.
No, I'm not saying it's not possible. I think it's just also about understanding that, yeah, we want to do certain things, and for me, I want to help a lot, as much as I can. You know, give them that opportunity, but like you say, the mentality. I got to be sure that if I'm going to bring you on board, you're going to go the distance. You're not going to get to a point where you're like, no, this is not for me. Because end of the day, it's you going not only by yourself, but also on me, in a sense.
Because you're attached to the person that you're bringing in.
Exactly. So I would be very sure that you're going to come and you're going to buy into what we're doing and where we're going.
Yeah.
And you're going to develop into the person and the player that you want to be. So it's just about, but I think we both have the same idea of what we want to do and how we want to do it. It's just about, you know, getting it done and making people understand that at the same time it's also going to take us time.
Yeah, it's not going to happen overnight. It's not going to happen overnight.
It's going to take time, and I think that's why having these conversations and speaking about it, and people, you know, looking at us, watching us, and seeing the emotion, how much we feel about it, it grows on people, and you know, it wants people to be more and do more.
Because you know, one thing I understand about sales, and this is just from a different perspective now. Like in sales, you gotta be convinced of the product you're selling. If you're not convinced of the product, how can you even
sell it?
Think of getting someone else to be convinced of the product and actually buying what you're selling? So for us to be convinced of what we're trying to do here with conversations with A and B, like us being convinced of what we want to do, I think that's going to be contagious. And I think it's already started, because the amount of people that have asked us, like what's happening, what's going on with the show. Like it shows me that there's a vested interest in people.
Exactly. And I think also to show people who we really are. Because I think we posted where I said also the reason why I want to do this is for people to see who I am and get to know me. You know, because out there, or people look at me and they, like how you looked at me when you met me.
Yeah.
Then when you get to know me, you're like, oh, okay. It's different.
It's not what I thought it was.
It's not what I thought it was. So maybe in this way, it's also people seeing that, no, the idea you have of me is not actually that, but I needed to do that because I needed to do it for myself. So you touched on Fearless Designs, and I think you also mentioned that you did Galactica's logo, as well as Coach B, my Coach B logo, and I just wanted you to speak more and touch why is that so important to you, in terms of fearless. What is the reason behind fearless?
Okay. Well, for me, like I used to get told a lot, like I've got. People feel like I have a lot of composure in like
what's the composure? What's the composure?
So like I have a lot of composure in like seriously intense moments.
Yeah.
And I gave off that vibe of being fearless.
Sure. And
one of my favorite Bible verses, which I even got tattooed on my arm here, is 2 Timothy 1:7.
Preach, brother.
Which says, God has not given you a spirit of fear, but of power, love, and a sound mind. And that thing used to be like my go-to thing.
Sure.
For everything, there's no reason for me to fear. I've got no reason to fear, for the simple fact that I know God has His hand over my life. I'm His child. He'll go before me.
And you got to trust Him.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So if He's one of the most trustworthy people that I can go to, what is there for me to fear?
Exactly.
So that's kind of the concept behind fearless designs, and bringing that same attitude into the world of graphic design. Like being fearless with the types of design I want to give, being fearless with the type of concepts I want to come across.
Sure.
Not being scared to try things that are outside of the box of graphic design. And that's kind of why I started my own thing, because I was like, I can't, not that I can't, but I don't want to work for someone else for the rest of my life.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think I'm put on this earth to just work for someone else, pay my bills and die. Like,
no, who wants to do that?
You know what I mean? There's more to life. And
but this podcast was going so nice until I saw your nose ring. Why are you telling me that, bro?
This man's got an issue with my nose ring.
How does a 31-year-old man put a nose ring, bro? How old are you? 33? 33?
The same way
33.
a 33-year-old walks around with earrings, a wrist chain, and another chain, plus a watch.
What's the way a watch, bro?
All you needed now was a gold suit and you were the typical talent.
I don't need a watch. I'm asking me a watch, bro.
No, you can wear a watch.
I'm just shaking, bro.
I'm just saying.
I'm just shaking. But a nose ring, bro.
Hey, bro. I've always wanted one.
Okay, bro.
I've always wanted one, so why not?
Even the cameraman is shocked.
Why not? So yeah, okay, getting back to the whole fearless thing. And then part of the reason was that I know that my people from where I'm from have very limited resources. And if
we were speaking about that earlier,
we touched on it earlier, where I can now, if I work hard enough to put myself in positions where I can get, whether it be funding, resources, or whatever, just to go back to my own community and give back.
Sure.
Not a thing to say like, yeah, I can. No, it's got nothing to do with me. I would just love to equip our people as much as I possibly can.
Sure.
Because, I see what our people go through. I see what our people what we have and the mindset that our people have. And if I can be put in a position where I can help,
Great. And I think that's also where we want the podcast to go as well.
Facts.
In a sense where we can help others. You know, speak about things that they are uncomfortable things, and hopefully that helps the next person, and we start to grow as a community.
Yeah.
We see more people coming out and growing and becoming better, and that's what we're about.
Yeah.
That's what we're about.
It's all about growth at the end of the day. It's all about growth. That's all we want.
And loving life.
That's it.
So yeah, I think from there we can close off.
It off.
I think it was a good conversation. If you stayed until the end, then yeah, you're a real G. To be quite honest, you're a real
We're gonna
G.
do a lot of prize giving.
Yeah.
A lot of merch dropping soon as well.
It would be nice if you had it, but it'll come.
Yeah, that'll come. But we're just happy to have you guys here for the journey. We appreciate your time.
Sure.
Guys, follow TJC Photography. He's the amazing guy behind this footage.
He says it's good, so hopefully you'll enjoy it too.
Yeah. Follow Coach_B_6 on IG. Follow Fearless Designs. ZA on IG. Follow Abie Fearless on IG.
You want everyone to follow you, brother?
Follow me.
Don't forget about Convos with A and B on IG.
With A underscore and underscore B
Short.
on IG.
You'll see this logo. You'll see that logo.
Yeah. As long as you see the logo, then you know it's the right one.
Yeah.
Okay.
And enjoying our lives too. So I think from there.
This has been Convos with A
and B, so you can see yourself out.